In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Pop that here, man. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Break that up, pop that here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. It is. You cannot touch me. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Break that up, man. Man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will. Excuse me. Man. Excuse me. Break that up. That's assault. Excuse me. Man. You cannot touch me like that. Break that up. Break that up. Break that. Break that up. Break that up. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that up. Break that up. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. Stop that here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that here. Man, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Break that. That's assault. Break that. Stop that here. Man. Stop that here. Man. Stop that here. Man. These people are going to eject you from this line. Break that up. That's break that up. Break that up. That's assault. Break that up. Man. Break that up. Oh, I will. Man. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that here. That's assault. Break that up. Man, that's assault. Man, break that up. Man, break that up. Stop that here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. Man, that's assault. Man, it is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Break that up. Break that up. Man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. How did that go? I will be. Excuse me. Man. Excuse me. Break that up. That's assault. Excuse me. Man. You cannot touch me like that. Break that up. Break that up. Break that. Break that. Break that. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that up. Break that up. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Break that. That's assault. Stop that here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Break that up. Stop that here. Man, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Break that up. That's assault. Break that up. Stop that here. Stop that here. Stop that here. Man, these people are. These people are going to eject you from this line. Break that up. That's break that up. Break that up. That's assault. Break that up. Man. Break that up. Oh, I will. Man. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that here. That's assault. Break that up. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you. That's assault. 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 Oh, I will. That's assault. 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 That's assault.
Let's take a clearing, a stream, a mountaintop, and finally to outer space. At each stop in our journey, I will share with you methods that may help you relieve the physical and mental stress that comes from long.
I just want to preface this. If you're new here, we are aware this lady is crazy and what she's doing is crazy. Or is it? Are we the crazy ones? Are we the crazy ones for being on the internet? Why do I look so? Look, I know you're testing it. Yes, I banned the word moon from chat, and then after great resistance, I got a little irritated. I was like, wow, these kids are really standing up trying to fight their fucking dad. How dare they? You guys took a couple swings at me, and you know what? I'm impressed. So I went ahead and allowed the word moon to be used in chat again. But so help me God, if you guys start talking about astrology or tarot and you're not Darlene, you will be grounded. Also, welcome. Welcome to any new people. I see one of Stevie's friends is here. Oh, thank you very much, Skolmachi. I like your name. That's a cool little, you got what are you, a McFoley fan? I like your smiley face. Hello, everybody. Everyone's grounded. I missed you. I missed you. I missed all of you. Everybody. Girl, I almost quit YouTube. Been getting harassed ever since I decided to be a content creator. Skolmachi, just keep going. Just keep going. You have to do it to spite the haters. I always tell people, if you ever feel like off in yourself, just think of everyone you hate and how they'd love that shit. And then don't do it. Stay alive to spite people. Trust me, nothing keeps me going better than that. It's really the best. It's the best way to look at it. Oh, it would upset you if I'm still here and alive? Well, then I guess I'm going to stick around till I'm 100. Because there's nothing I want more than to upset this bitch. And at that point, it's like, who's going to argue? Yeah, don't consider it ever. Think about the worst person who is mean to you, like the meanest person in your life ever. Okay? Ever. And then when you get to that point, be like, they would fucking love this. I'm not going to give them that. And then I'm telling you, not wanting someone else to be happy is sometimes the push you need to be happy. And that sounds fucked up. But I mean, like, these people are making my life hell. So what am I going to do? Fucking survive. Make them look at me more. Make them hear me more. Stay out of the shell, you little crab. And if you guys have a true crime channel or any channel, it doesn't matter what it is. Living well is the best revenge. You stick with it. You stick with it. Because the first couple of weeks are the hard. It's just like addiction. Just like getting out of addiction, getting into an addiction can be just as difficult. So if you want to get addicted to live streaming, just fucking battle through it. Battle through it. Eventually you'll get the DTs. All right, here we go.
Let's take a relaxing break and leave cyber stress behind. Come with me to a clearing, a stream, a mountaintop, and finally to outer space. At each stop in our journey, I will share with you methods that may help you relieve the physical and mental stress that comes from long hours at your computer. Feel your serpent within, suspended now between the sky and the earth, and imagine your favorite mountain. Could be a hill, any high place where you like to be. Around and around and around. Now reverse it, coming in. Tickling is a wonderful way to relieve tension. I thank you for moving with me from place to place. I hope you will continue to visit these places and incorporate them into your workday. And remember, relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks.
And if you like the found footage that you're seeing here this morning or this evening, what are we at? We're at 9:04. I don't even know anymore. I wake up for the night shift and I'm like, good morning. And it's like fucking 10 p.m. Okay. If you like the shit you're seeing right here, go to foundfootagefest.com or go add Found Footage Fest on your YouTube. On your YouTube. Okay. She does have a movement disorder. It's called yoga. and it's disgusting, and I can't wait to start doing it again. She has Parkinson's. Jesus Christ. Damien, you got meditate. Yeah, you get into DDP yoga. We've talked about this, kids. I know you've McMuffined, okay? I know you've McMuffined. All right. We're going to watch How to Be a Real Man. In case you guys forgot, this is the origin story of your sister Turd, aka Melissa Turd Ferguson. This is how she started. Oh, well, look who's here. Stevie, you noticed something a little different, bud? My little baby boy, my youngest. You and Rebbit, my twins, my evil little twins, my sweet baby angels that don't say bad words or do dirty things. Earmuff, Stevie, look what you got. You see what you got? Dad hit you with a little wrench. Got you right in the jaw, Stevie. What are you going to do about it? That's right. You're the man of the house now. Satan's going to take you under his wing. He's your peepaw. Okay? Uncle Satan is going to teach you how to smoke, Stevie. You want big boy on the roof? You know what? No, it doesn't. It means other people have to behave or you're going to get them. And this is just for, you know what? This is just for you kids today. You know, we never do this, but today.
Get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't been on the roof. Never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't lay on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Never seen a big boy drill on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy ain't drilling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. How you do it like that? Damn, you got tools on your back. Climbing on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Shit, big boy get loose. Shit, big boy get loose. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never, oh shit, then you falling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy hop on the roof. How you do it like that? Oh shit, you just make a back. Oh shit, pick up your back. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get your ass out the roof. Get your ass back out the roof. I ain't never see a big boy leap on the roof. Take a big ass off.
You ain't never seen a big boy get on the roof. Okay, check it out. What are you looking at here? That's right. Pure ADHD, people. We got it. I'm just a big boy standing on the roof asking you to let me cook. If you want that shirt, that's available now. Grilling on the Roof tee. And it is a V-neck. I will make it a round neck if you'd like as well. I was just, Dad was a little cheaped out and thought it'd be fun to make a shirt. So here we are. I'm just a big boy standing on the roof asking you to let me cook. And you got some dogs up there. Okay? You got some hot dogs right there. So we have that. Hey, Vivans, Wellbutrin gang, where you at? Where my cross-stitching bitches at? Oh, you need the Nirvana one? Well, let's take a look at that. Now, this one, I didn't know if it was legal to sell, but they sell it all over Korea and China. So why not? I'm pretty sure they don't have copyright. So here we go. This is the best band on earth. Best band. Dad has this shirt. I have this exact shirt. They sold out, so I made my own. And then the day I ordered my own sample from my store, I got mine in from theirs. So this is the band Nirvana. For you younger kids, they invented a thing called grunge. Okay, and they have a really famous song called Bop, and it's so good. And if you're a golfer and you're getting the shit kicked out of you, it's Blap, which might be the next shirt. But for now, we've also got When in Doubt, Tactical Roll. And that's right. That's the golf guy kicking the shit out of the other golf guy. That is the NHL fellow kicking the shit out of that dude. That is the NHL guy kicking the shit out of that guy on the golf course. And I thought, well, he's not getting beat up. He's clearly doing tactical rolls away from this scary man. I've decided I'm on his side now. The guy who won't stay down. I'm on his side. I feel like he was doing a tactical roll away from the other guy, and now there's a shirt for it. Now there's a shirt. So if you guys want to get your shirts, those are the latest products. We also have what other kind of product do we have? We have Get in the Grand Canyon. That's right. The Grand Canyon, where baddies lose their daddies. Where baddies lose their daddies. Why? Because sometimes dad drops you off at the Grand Canyon because you're not being good. And for Gay Pride History Month or whatever it was called, I did all the gay colors. There you go. There you go. So it's all rainbowy and shit. That's fun. Happy gay month still. I think it's over, but it's never over in this house. Then we have the Grand Canyon yoga top. This for you prissy little ladies and dudes. Anybody who wants one of these, really. In betweens, beyonds, anything. You can get one of these. And then we have this one. And it's the Midsummer Hugin. And I call it that because we're not a cult, even though he is wearing a cute little crown. Very cute baby. And then, of course, we have the Stussy S. Why? Because respect. Yeah, my dog is gay too. Ricky and Hugin one day will make sweet puppy love. All right. And then I made this one, Jinko Biloba. This is so ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I did put Jinkos on it. They do kind of look like a clover. It doesn't matter. The point is, kids, we have merch. Hello, YouTube Bad Actors. Also been binging on YouTube Bad Actors channel. Can I tell you? Have you seen the movie Amelie? One's in the chat if you've seen the movie Amelie. YouTube Bad Actors is Amelie, and Gray Hughes is the guy watching soccer at the beginning of Amelie. And YouTube Bad Actors is sitting on the roof just unplugging during every goal. And it really is one of the best. Sometimes I'm in a super depressed mood. And then I watch a video of you just shitting on this asshole's whole life. And it makes me laugh so hard. Maybe I'm the bad person. Who the heck is O'Malley? O'Malley? Amelie. Amelie. It's a movie. It's about a girl who gets long game revenge on people who are mean to other people. And it always stuck with me like that's the ultimate revenge movie because she manages to do it in a sweet way while falling in love with a stranger named Nino Quincampoix, who keeps leaving his picture in a picture booth and finding it ripped up and not knowing who's taking. It's a whole thing. It's just a great movie. It is French. And the beginning is the death of Lady D. And it is wild. O'Doyle rules is all I can think right now. Also, how about I am Amelie merch? Amelie? And spell it wrong? I'll do that. You gave Morgan & Morgan solid advice. Or you gave solid Morgan & Morgan advice. I showed you guys the picture, right, of one of you kids with Morgan & Morgan, John Morgan. Also added him on my comedy account. Very excited to get to know him. And I will be bothering him on a daily basis. Mexican Coke and Mexican Pepsi is better than Coke and Pepsi. They use real Coke leaves and sugar cane. You know, as my friend was dying in the hospital a few months ago, she had all of us come watch her because she's hilarious. And we all ended up getting in a big fight that kind of reminded me of It's Always Sunny over her deathbed, where we were fighting over whether there's still cocaine in Coca-Cola. And as she's like, she is knocked the fuck out and we think she can't hear us. And as we're fighting, she smiled. And when she came to and I got to talk to her before she passed, she said that was very enjoyable for her, listening to us all fight. She's never been happier. So there's that. Okay. Let's get to the point. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about today. First of all, speaking of comedy, last week you might have seen, and this is actually probably going to be one of the shortest episodes we ever do. We're probably going to be getting out of here at an hour and a half tops because I still have some more work shit to do. Again, got court coming up, not for me, but for one of my clients. And I'm doing some research for her, scraping some data for her. And so far it's going well. Remember how I told you guys, never represent yourself pro se. You're fucking crazy if you do that. I was very concerned because this woman's like, I'm pro se in it. And I was I'm just so grateful that some people have an open mind. I was able to convince her to take advantage of some of the resources in Texas for council assistance, and we got a good one. She got a good one. He's incredible. I wish I could say more, but he took a lot of the research and the stuff that we did for her case and he ran with it, and it's going well. It's going really well. And I cannot stress more how you should take advantage of council assistance programs through universities, through your local government. A lot of people go, oh, I don't think that I'm going to get that much help. Or if it's someone pro bono or just giving advice, what can they do for me? No, they can do a lot, especially if you're not a lawyer. They can do a lot. They can, keep your house for you. They can make it so that you don't get forcibly removed from a place that you own. Let's say you've been trying to get a divorce for 10 or 15 years and the douchebag won't let you. They can make that shit happen, and they're pretty incredible. She also has a judge that was on a really famous case. I can't say more, but it's pretty crazy because that judge sentenced someone I really hate to a long sentence. And I'm like, damn, I have a feeling this is going to go very well for her, and I'm just hoping. But yeah, I have to finish up some paperwork and send it to her after this. And I really got to get it done before 2 a.m. because I am exhausted. It's been a long day. But I will say this. Last week I did quite a bit and popped it up on the community wall. And sometimes I'll tell you guys, oh, it's going to be on the community wall tonight. And that usually means tomorrow or the next day because I'm slow and I forget. But I was able to get quite a bit done. Oh shit, wait, we never watched What a Real Man Is. Okay, back it up. We'll get to community tabs in a minute. You guys need to learn how to be a real man. I almost forgot. I jumped in too soon. You got to learn how to be a real man. I'll be right back. Watch this. This is very important. These are vital statistics. There we go. It's taking forever, but there we go. This is how you be a real man. This is Melissa. This is Turd's origin story, okay? Hello, Dee. Nice to see you. Hello, Amber. Oh, I'm so excited to see you guys. I really did miss y'all.
Joe Simmons used to be your average teenager. He enjoyed his music. He liked his magazines. He loved his television programs. He worshipped Marissa Wilson. He had a few pet habits. But then Joe got a message.
Oh no, we had a note. It froze and you missed God's message. Hold on, Joe got a message. Here we go.
But then Joe got a message. Now, Joe will never be the same.
Green Day? Not today. Counting Crows? Your number's up. Pearl Jam? Your toe jam.
Apologies to Uncle Mike. Apologies to the Young Jerks channel. He didn't mean it. And also, Pearl Jam is not toe jam. They're incredible. When he says the Holy Bible, yep. It's Prison Mike. It's Prison Mike up there. You know, it does sound like him, and at least Alice in Chains is safe. That is true. I thought this was Toby Mac from DC Talk when I first saw it. Is Hugin sleeping on the Wi-Fi again? Yeah, DC Talk. By the way, do you guys remember? I'm going to get in trouble. Do you guys remember when we talked about DC Talk? You guys remember when we talked about DC? Do you remember I told you guys if you wait till the end of the album, there's a secret song? And then we played it. And then everybody was in shock. We're just two hunks and serving the Lord. Do you remember that? DC Talk, how dare you? How dare you? Can't write songs like that. Canceled. DC Talk is canceled in 2025. Also, yes, R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. I can't even. I will cry. I will. Oh, it is an old a phrase from the 1930s in the South. It is not a good phrase, and I can't believe that the other fellow in DC Talk let them get away with that shit. Just look up two honks and you'll see. You'll see. Toby Mackey will pay for your crimes. Okay. Anyway, back to this. It actually he looks like Turtle from It's Always Sunny. It really does. This guy. This guy. Look at that vest. It's pissing me off. Yeah, R.I.P. to Ozzy. I will literally cry. Dude, also, Youngblood has a really good voice. Hearing him do the tribute was amazing. He was amazing. Was it Crazy Train? It was amazing. Oh, I grew up on the Osbournes, Pat Boone singing the lead song. That like our whole family would sit around and watch two shows, the Osbournes and American Idol. That was our shit. Kelly Clarkson, she was from the town near my college. I remember crying in the dorm room my freshman year, surrounded by my gays, just weeping because Kelly beat Justin. And she deserved it. But the other show that we couldn't miss, it was the Osbournes. The Osbournes were so good. The fight with the Ham, if I didn't think his ghost would copyright strike me, I would play it for you. I really would. Oh, I saw it on YouTube. They did a whole concert for Ozzy. It was a tribute. All these people sang it. It was like his final concert, right? And people came out and sang. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. I'll never forget when he pissed on the Alamo. You know, the Daughters of the Republic of Texas and everybody who like pays for, did you know that the Daughters of the Republic of Texas group, actually their entire like purpose is to maintain the Alamo grounds and keep it cleaned and preserve it historically? And Ozzy pissed on it back in the day because he was drunk. And then he, I'll have to find it for you, D, and I'll put it under the description of this. But I think if you just type in Ozzy's last concert on YouTube, it should pop up. But yeah, it was really crazy because he pissed on the Alamo because he was wasted. And then he was banned for a decade. And then when he was allowed back, he apologized. He gave $10,000 to the Daughters of the Republic for Alamo recovery funds to clean it and maintain it. He took his hat off and he apologized to everyone on the grounds of the Alamo. And then he dedicated himself to learning about the history of it. And I thought it was one of the greatest and earliest influencer apologies. Ozzy Osbourne. He's done a lot. He has done a lot. He never pissed on it again. And he actually didn't piss on the physical Alamo. He pissed on this area outside of it that was considered part of it. What did Mia got blacklisted? Who? Or MIA? Oh. I like maybe that's not the right chick, is it? Who was it? Mia sang another song, MIA. Well, no, that was her, right? Yeah, the Alamo, it also has a basement. That's the joke. Hello, Claudia. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. We miss you, Claudia. I miss all of you guys. MIA's father was a terrorist? Well, aren't all of our dads? All right. Moving on. Just kidding, Papa. Yeah, because of the Super Bowl. That's right. I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. Moving on. This is Hello Roasted Bean. Hello, welcome. We gotta hurry up and get to the stuff. So I'm gonna teach you how to be a real man. Here you go.
Consider yourself disconnected. Joe, hey, you got a light? I'm gonna let it shine. What's up, Joe? Are you crazy? Crazy? Yo loco por Jesus.
Also, we'd still have Yo Loco por Jesus shirts up in the store, but they actually say Yo Loco por Hugin, and they have a picture of Hugin's head. We continue. The Josiah project, they should just say it does fuck. Stevie, watch your mouth. Oh wait, no, you're a mod now. You can cuss. Yes. All right. Listen. The Josiah Project fucks on Scientology. What about that? What about that? Christian violence. How novel. I know. We're pushing boundaries here on this channel. Do you understand? We are pushing boundaries. Again, Found Footage Fest. What you're about to see, I don't know if this is going to get me copyright struck. If it does, I will start a new channel called OB2, Electric Boogaloo. But if this is the last video ever played on this channel, it's totally worth it. Because this is me. This is me in my normal day-to-day when I take off the mask and I'm just being myself. And I'm having a discussion with Dad's boyfriend. Here we go. Enjoy this personal and private found footage. Obi Trice, that'll be my third channel, but that is a great idea. Oh my God, did you change your picture to the Kardashian ass holding the Pepsi? I'm dead.
And I said, Bob, when I grow up to be big, you're going to know something. And I said, Bob, it's either Dad taking him out and whooping you, or I'm going to tell him that you did the F word, okay, and you said a bad word.
This is actually found footage of, this is Stevie telling on you guys. Stevie? Is this you telling on everyone? This is actually Turd at night when she calls me. This is a live conversation between me and Turd, okay?
Said, Bob, it's either Dad taking him out and whooping you, or I'm going to tell him that you did the F word, okay, and you said a bad word, and you been mean to me, and you pushed me off the hill at the courthouse. When I was jumping on the couch, and you tripped me over.
You pushed me on the ground at the courthouse. She is just, this is everyone on Twitter. This is everyone on Twitter expressing their anger at each other this week. She is adorable. This is me. This is Stevie. This is me. This is Mitty. This is Turd. This is Bubsy. This is Damien. This is Claudia. This is all of us. We are all this child. This is my sister while I sit in the corner and think about what I did. This is EB. This is kind of sort of. I love her so much. Can we get her on the channel? Can I interview this kid? Because I have so many questions about this is D. This is Sherlock. Like, not Damien. Damien says no. This kid is the best. You would tell on everyone, Claudia. That's why you're the best. Hello, EB. She is the best. Like, I could listen to her bitch and complain about her family all day.
When I was young.
Oh, I do, because I am a child at heart. I am a child at heart. 100%.
On the couch.
Jumping on the couch.
You should remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I grow up, you know nothing about me.
But he's your brother. You're supposed to love him.
I said, listen, if you don't hush, then I'm going to smack your mouth.
This is literally word for word. Sister Wendy, the Lord sees all. You could get secrets, Claudia. I believe you. This is word for word when anyone in chat gets in an argument. If any of you guys get in an argument outside of the chat, if my mods, you know exactly which two this is. You know what? The two who this is are in here right now. I'm calling you out. This is Turd and this is Ernie. And they're both this child arguing with themselves. This is the cutest thing ever. This is what Turd and Ernie are like. That I said to her, I love you guys so much. They're furiously texting each other right now how to get back at me, and I can't wait.
And I told Bob, listen, you're a 1-year-old boy. You are me. You don't even play with me that much. You just play with my friends. When he brings something
Ernie's
cool,
here.
you say, oh, that's cool. And I say, it's not cool to you. Mm-mm. You just love me. You play with other kids. He gave me his drink. I said, I'm about to pour it because I took the lid off.
That's you, Melissa. I did out you. That is you. And look, Sherlock Ho even says nailed it. EB's refusing to acknowledge. Ernie, this is you and this is Turd. 100%. 100%. And then I took the lid off. Is that a chicken? I don't know. Is it? Is there a chicken? Where's the chicken? Let me go back.
Yes. He gave me his drink. I said, I'm about to pour it because I took the lid off. He said, I just gave you my drink to hold it. But are you black? You can put your cup wherever you want to put it. You know, you can put it at your personality. That's what you need to put it.
You know where to put it in your personality. That's where you need to put it. That makes no sense. And I love her so much. Hello, Mustang65. Good to see you. Good to see you. What if she were white? That Amber pays fucking attention, dude. Amber pays attention. That Matthew McConaughey speech. I actually pulled that out. That was a lot, wasn't it, Damien? She went through hell, that little girl. And she was willing to lie. A quick debrief. Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill. Great speech. Great speech. What if she were white? Best ending. Best ending to any speech ever. It was like, oh shit. Up your butt. Yeah. Best speech. You want to see it again? She's so good at it.
And I said, Bob, when I grow up to be big, you're going to know something. And I said, Bob, it's either Dad taking him out and whooping you, or I'm going to tell him that you did the F word, and you said a bad word, and you been mean to me, and you pushed me off the hill.
You did the F word, you said a bad word, you were mean to me, and you pushed me off the hill. That's a lot she went through. But she also says that she's going to tell them that, so it makes me think she's lying. So she is just stacking charges.
When I was jumping on the couch, you tripped me over. You should remember that. Because when I grow up, you know nothing about me.
But he's your brother. You're supposed to love him.
I said, listen, if you...
And then I said, if you don't hush...
You don't hush, then I'm going to smack your mouth. And I told Bob, listen, you're a 1-year-old boy. You...
Back me up, Bob.
You are mean. You don't even play with me that much. You just play with my friends. When he brings something cool, you say, oh, that's cool. And I say, it's not cool to you. You just love me. You play with other kids.
You're playing with other kids. That is 100%. That's Melissa and Ernie. 3 older brothers. Oh, my God. I want you next to me in war, Sister Wendy. Anybody with 3 brothers knows how to do a war. Did you leave a message on how you would get out of war on the Obology line? Because I don't think you'd be able to. I think that you would literally just beat the shit out of everyone in war. Just subbed Mustang 65. Are you? Hold on a second. Mustang 65. Do you have a 65 Mustang? My grandmother and my grandfather were stacking Stangs for a minute. They had a 64.5, which is very rare, a 65, 66, and 67. They were in the yard. Only 2 of them worked, and they would parts them out to make like manufacturer part, OEM, everything. Like make it fucking perfect, and then they'd sell them. And I've always wanted one. I drive manual stick shift, and I've always wanted to go back and get like a mid-60s model Mustang. That's the dream one day. Reminds me of my childhood. It is a dream car. Would you get a 64.5? They're so rare that I'm kind of into it, and I don't know why. And I like how there's a huge long stick shift, and like it's just such a roomy car, but it looks really small. Damn, if you wreck a Mustang, like a pre-1970s Mustang, like a 60s model, it ain't gonna dent. It ain't gonna dent the damn bed. I'll tell you what, it's not. It's really crazy because the steel that they use back, cars now are all aluminum. They'll crunch like a fucking tuna can. I think the word, 65. Yeah, I gotta get one of these days. I want to get one and rebuild it. I'm just gonna take it to Mitty's. I'm gonna take it to Canada and be like, Mitty, fix this fucking car because I love it. I want to work on the insides and I want Mitty to fix the outsides. Okay. I tried to, and it won't let me. It will not let me. It will. There's something up with your settings. I've tried to non-consensually mod you multiple times. Grounded. A 68 Volvo. Oh, shit. I like the way Volvos drive, but I don't like the cost of the parts. I'll tell you that much. You can come down and tinker. Excellent. Yeah, tuna can. All the cars now are aluminum, and they'll just, I don't know why I did that, but they'll get, because it costs money to fucking fix them. Because they'll just get fucked up. Anyway, let's let her finish.
He gave me his drink. I said, I'm about to pour it because I took the lid off. He said, I just gave me my drink to hold it. Bub, are you black? I'll put your cup wherever you want to put it. You know, you can put it at your personality. That's what you know.
At your personality. She got him. She got him. Okay. All right. I'm vaped and I'm ready. I'm vaped and I'm ready. Stop screen. We have a couple things to talk about. All right. I made you. Oh, where did I go? Where did she go? Here I am. Here I am. I'm back. I made you a couple of things. If you go to the community wall right now, you're going to see a couple of playlists. I posted one. It is called Crimedy. Why is it called that? I used to have a podcast called Crimedy. We put out no episodes. I recorded 17. Didn't put any of them out. Why? Because the sound quality was so bad. It was a huge waste of an entire summer. However, the whole point of it was talking to comics about crimes they've committed, criminal situations they've been in. And I was thinking about that the other day, how like, I'm already so far in this channel, just changing formats all of a sudden would be crazy. But I do think that there's a lot of crime stories and situations involving true crime that a lot of comedians tell that are fucking incredible. And one of my favorites popped up. I wish I could show it to you on here, but again, copyright. But what I decided to do was I made you a playlist. It's called Crimedy. It is free. It is on the posts part of the community. Posts in the, if you just go to the page, go to this YouTube channel where it says posts or community wall, you just go there. You're going to see a playlist posted. It's called Crimedy. It is some of the best and funniest crime stories told by comics. A lot of them are Ari Shaffir's show, This Is Not Happening. I did that one at South by, and the stories that I heard, I mean, I think, was it Hassan Minaj used to draw, like, I think it was him. He used to draw Nike checks on his shoes because he was too poor when he was a kid. And so he had a whole thing about ripping off Nike, which was pretty funny. Martha Kelly from Baskets told a crazy story about traveling cross country with dogs and cats and jumping out at bushes at people. I talked about getting stabbed, like Big J Okerson was there. Leslie from what's her last name? Leslie from SNL, Dana Gould. They all have incredible stories. But I'll tell you this much. Yeah, Hassan is hilarious. And Duncan Trussell has some great stories. Duncan Trussell is so funny. His acid stories are some of my favorite, really the best. So here's the thing. If you want to watch a bunch of really good comedy sets about crime, I compiled them. Some of them are sets that I've told you about, or bits from comics that I've told you about. Like I told you about Ron Schock, how he passed away, but he had a really great story called Bio. And it's all about how he was born into a really good family, and he went into the military and he became a bomb technician. And then he made bombs. And then he got in trouble for making bombs, and then he robbed banks, and then he became a safe cracker. And then they recruited him again to go back on another tour in the military instead of prison. And then that didn't work out. So then he ended up going back to prison in Louisiana on a chain gang. And then he became the vice president of the people who make your kids' textbooks. And then he became a stand-up comic. And it's his life story. And it's just all he did was crime. And then he became a famous stand-up comic, and he became Bill Hicks' mentor. And he condenses his bio, his life story, into like a 3-minute video. And then he has another one that's like 9. So that's in there. There's a bunch of This Is Not Happening sets. One of my favorites is a comic who goes to Mexico to get drugs. And it's really the best. It's at the top. It's Rob Christensen. It is so funny. A girl who drinks her own pee because she's a meth head and then realizes that meth is bad because someone's finally like, hey, quit drinking pee. That's bad. And she's like, I just needed someone to tell me. And then she quit. Yeah, Ron Schock is the best. Ron Schock was my mentor. And I used to, if you love Ron Schock, I'll tell you, maybe I can get his wife Rhonda on one day. I love Rhonda, but I'm going to try not to cry. He is the sweetest man. He is one of the best comics. He was one of the Texas Outlaws, like with Sam Kinison, Jimmy Pineapple, Ron Schock, Brett Butler was all up in his shit. Like, he was one of the best, if not the best, in my opinion. He was my mentor in comedy, and he said that he would mentor me and help me out with writing and basically watch my sets and give me feedback if I could do him one favor. And I said, sure, anything. And he said, as I'm getting older, I'm actually like, he's good at forming bits. He can watch you and tell you what's up, but like, he's not good at physically writing, typing, spelling. Like, he's like, as I get older, it's harder. He doesn't like technology. So he wanted to, when he found out he had cancer, it was going to be a while of treatment, and he loves his wife Rhonda so much. She's the sweetest woman. And he said, I just know that, this is terminal. So what I want to do is every day, like as I'm heading towards the light, I'm going to write her a love letter. And he's like, because I want her to have something to like open when I pass to make her happy. And I'm already like, oh. And he's like, the problem is I can't fucking spell too good, and I'm not great at writing. So can I just send you what I type, and can you just like spell check it and check the grammar for me and make sure it's perfect? And I was like, sure. So I became his love letter editor for his wife. And in exchange, he would tell me what I was doing wrong in comedy, like in my bits, like, this is how you fix this, or you need to quit saying, or just say fuck, who cares? Like, he just gave me really great advice that really changed who I am. And I, at least on stage anyway, and I'm like obsessed with him. He has some of the best stories. He has one about the news in Houston and about people drinking laugh or fun at a party, like soap lie. There's just so many great sets in there. One of the best ones is the Moth Story Hour with a comic whose last name is DeStefano, not Chris, but another comic. There's just so many. There's so many good sets in there, and I put it together for you because I know that crime can be daunting, true crime in general, and the subject matter on these channels. Sometimes you need to pick me up, and a lot of you guys are like, what's something funny to watch? And I was like, well, what's something that they can watch that we can't watch on the channel, right? But that I want them to see. So I made a playlist for you. And if you go look up Crimedy, that is on our community wall, and you can watch a whole bunch. I personally curated them. I put my favorites in. So I hope that you guys enjoy. There's also Nick Mullen from Come Town, his FBI story for all you real feral ass degenerates. That's a deep cut. Okay, so the other news, and then we're going to get to it. The OSINT cheat sheet has been updated. I'm sure you saw it. Same situation. Community wall post. The OSINT cheat sheet is updated. If you are at Dad's favorite tier or higher, it's $10 a month. You get unlimited access to this ever-expanding sheet of OSINT links. And open source intelligence can range from anything from digitized online resources to found footage videos to repositories to research papers. And then, every single thing you can possibly learn about DNA forensics is under one tab. Yeah, I was in my early 20s when I knew Ron D. I was in my early 20s. We did a show together in San Marcos, and I was probably second or third year into comedy. And yeah, and then he passed away like within 2 years of us getting close, and it sucked, but he changed my life. Brilliant man, amazing writer, so funny. And I had to put all his sets on there. I would love to get Rhonda on to talk about his life sometimes. If you want to hear some crazy crime stories, she could tell you some Ron shit that he didn't make into sets. He was the best. Okay, so the OSINT cheat sheet is updated. Now here's what I did. I did put a link instead of just Dad's Favorites, I decided to give Curious Potatoes, which is the 3rd tier down. So it's cheaper too. I decided to give them a taste of it. So for half a month to a month, everybody at that tier can also use the OSINT cheat sheet just for this month, because I figured some people might not want to commit to that. $10 a month, I think that's a lot. Like, I hesitated, but I was like, I have to come up with one because I accidentally picked that in the tier system that wouldn't let you change it. So I was like, what would be worth $10? Like, I was like, I'll send them a painting every week. No, that's crazy. So I decided I'm gonna break open this book that I've been writing for a long time, and I'm gonna just add parts of it. So over time, you're gonna have the whole book, and it's literally a ton of resources. Do you want to reverse search an email? Do you need to find a phone number or a person in the phone book from 1994, but you can't find that phone book anywhere, and you can't order it anywhere, and you think it's gone? Well, guess what? It's not. There's a website for that. It's called oldphonebooks.com. That's in there. That's a cheat. There, you get that. But you get a bunch of shit. If you need GitHub links, how to pull code, APIs. There's also one that is it's like expert OSINT. It's basically like it's more difficult. And then there's some that are very basic tools. So your skill level, no matter what it is, there's going to be resources for you. When I started it for you guys, it had 10. Now I think it has over 500 or 600 links. I need to go check. What's a phone book? Oh my God, Damien, stop. But yeah, you guys can, if you're at Curious Potato or higher, you can have access to that. Now, anybody who is a member and anybody who is not a member, just anybody at all who goes to the community page, gets access for free forever to one specific tab that I copied, and I added it for everybody. There's a Google link for you to go download it. You can make a copy for yourself. You can, you can just take the ones that you need. It is literally open to everybody. You don't even have to be a channel member. You don't have to subscribe. You can leave me hateful things. Fuck you, bitch. I don't like you. You can still access it. Even if you don't like me, you can access it. It is all links to research studies and forensic articles on DNA. And not just human DNA, because plants have DNA too. Remember that? Plants have DNA. Plants live, they breathe, they they got plasms and things in there. I don't know, chloroform. I don't know shit about plants, but I do know that they have unique DNA, and I find it fascinating. So when we were going over the Delphi stuff, you guys had a lot of questions about the Cicero documents and about, why didn't they take the sticks and what kind of testing can even be done on that sort of stuff. And I thought this is a resource that is going to help you get through a lot of the Delphi forensics, because there are certain things that you can and can't do when trees are involved, soil is involved. If you paid attention to that Payne Lindsay podcast where Tara Grinstead's murder was the murderer was hunted down, and there was a whole huge situation involving, there was plant matter under her tires that was specific and unique to this area that she wouldn't have had in her area. It's very specific to pecan orchards, things like that. There are plants that are found on vehicles traveling from across the country, and then, murdered people are in the trunk, and they're like, well, where's this vehicle been? And then they can test the plant life, and they can go, oh, well, this is weird. They must have been in California because that's the only place where this grows, but it's beyond that. Blood in soil. What if someone is killed outside? There's a bunch of blood in the soil. How do they get the DNA from that? How do they test that forensically? How do you separate the soil from the DNA? There are so many studies on this shit. There are standards of rules and practices for specific DNA forensics, for blood spatter analysis, for plant forensics. There's policies, there are procedures. The tab that I made available is all of that. It is literally ResearchGate, ScienceGate, every Pizzagate. No, I'm just kidding. It is every single resource that you can imagine. And it's also some that are just thesis papers written by graduate students who went on to become big shit in the forensics world. There are videos of everything from like a content creator to a forensic scientist explaining to you the lab processes. There's labs across the country that pull out, they pull out all their shit and they go, this is how we do the DNA. So all those links are in there. All of those links are in there. You can go, if you want to read about blood spatter analysis, where they used pig brains to find out who kidnapped a girl and killed her in 1987. That's in there. It's all in there. Stick analysis, tree analysis, plant analysis. How do you get blood out of soil? How do you get blood on soil? All sorts of things. Darlene, so excited to see you. I sent you I wrote you a very long email. I paused. I said, I need to find this video to send to her. I hit it. I put it in drafts. I never went back to it. I apologize. I will send it tonight. You have a migraine from hell? Bite the towel, grab a coffee. You're going to be okay. And I love you. And yes, I probably did say anal, and I apologize. Majority of samples came in where the skin cells of the person collecting the sample. We've come a long way. Oh, wow. Yeah. And also, contamination is a big deal. There are some in there about cross-contamination and about the policies and procedures for protection. But I'm actually going to make that maybe a separate tab because I want to include the drying labs. Or the dry boxes, if you will, and how they dry evidence, how they pull evidence. Medvacs are, I wouldn't say they're fairly new, but kind of like Duty Ed talks about it. They've been worked on for a decade now, but now they're kind of perfected. There's a very special and specific methodology. If you want to be a fucking dick about it, Karen Reed made me say methodology all the time, and now I'm annoyed. But there's a very specific way that all of that is done, right? And then 3D imaging of the crime scene, very important. Turns out they did do that for Delphi. There's just a lot that can be used in reading those documents and consuming other documents. Cross-contamination is a huge, huge issue. And look at Amanda Knox case. Yes, it's Perugia, Italia, but you're going to have to, every time I say Perugia, it makes me think of Don Lemon. I don't know why. Basically, you're going to have to translate a lot of that shit if you want to look at some of the older forensic docs on how they do it there. Oh my God. Like the lack of booties, the hair just up, no hairnet, nothing. Like it blows my mind. We've come a very long way. So anyway, that is free to everybody. It doesn't matter. You love me or hate me. That's not the issue. You can go get it for free. You can check out all those tabs. There's like over 20. I think there's a ton. Okay. Next thing. Delphi documents. It is couple thousand fucking pages? It's a lot. It's a lot. I have every single court doc that is available. Okay. Every single one you could imagine that has been put out, I have. All right. I need to read it before I commentate on it. Why? Is it going to take time? Yeah, probably another week. But why is important? Because if I see someone's name in there and their name don't need to be in there, if for some reason a phone number or an address is, I got to block it out. If there's certain subject matter that is just not, I don't feel ethical sharing it just because someone else wants to share, go watch them. If it's something about these little girls who are juveniles that I don't feel comfortable sharing, I need to be able to edit. So I don't want to spring that on anybody. But I will say this much. I have gone through some of them and seen some stuff that 100% backed up what I talked about last time. And I had no doubt it would, because I knew what was going on. I saw the proof myself, but it's not incumbent upon me to put other people on blast just for having a different opinion. But I will say there was behavior in there that is fucked. The jury tampering, the reason a lot of things got sealed, the leaks. We see exactly where the leaks came from. It was highly disappointing. We are going to be reading a lot of these together. I'm going to try to summarize them, but have them up so that you can read them too, so that you get the full picture. And when we get there, it's going to be a tough discussion. People aren't going to like some of the things that they see in those documents, because it's going to make some people get pissed off, because Heroes behaving badly, friends behaving badly, humans behaving badly. That town has been through hell. Absolute hell. But here's what I'll say. All those docs are available for free. Again, to download, just open on the community wall. I posted them. I posted a link. I put them in a Google Doc format. You can go there. You can download them all. I'm going to put the first, I think, 9 up tonight because that was the only ones we were missing. So those are going to go up tonight. You can download them for free there. A lot of people have already done it. And you know what is interesting, Cindy, is it has quite a bit has been. They already figured out it's all in there. That's another thing is a lot of people made a lot of things in this case sound nefarious, different, just straight up lied. I don't know why they did it. I think to create outrage. Maybe outrage breeds money. I don't know. But a lot of the questions that a lot of people have, I see answered right away. And if you want to see those answers yourself, you can go download those and be prepared to talk about it in a week or two. Now on to the gabagool. Here's what we're going to talk about. 2 things tonight. Here's the thing, Cindy. Yes and no. You know how lab people cross contaminants, shit like that? They give their DNA before, right? So that if theirs is found, it can be crossed out. Another thing is that wasn't a hair around her hand. It says in the court documents, it was testified to, and it just simply is a fiber. So I feel like that was very interesting how people made that out to be a hair. There's just a lot. There's a lot that was very misinterpreted, and I'm still kind of learning some of it and very guffawed. I'd like to read all of it before I answer anything for sure, but there are people who were ruled out. There are hairs that are not hairs. They are fiber. There are reasons, obviously, that Goal made the rules she did. And shockingly, those reasons have to do with leaks and bad behavior. And then when you see who the leaks came from and where the bad behavior came from in the court record, it's like, oh, wow. I think that this is, I feel a little swayed, wrongly. You know, there's just a lot, but we'll get there. I would highly encourage everybody to read it themselves too. And it's a lot. Yeah. Very bad of the defense to leak things so that creators can just immediately put it on Twitter. And then the judge noticed and called people out. And because of that, in addition to the defense leaking or allowing their area to be breached, which had very graphic photos of 2 young girls, it just caused a lot of problems. And I find it very interesting that the very people who caused everything to be put under seal are the ones who say, show us the records. Jesus Christ, it's your fault we can't see them. Pisses me off. Really does. And that's another thing, YTBA. If so, is that on purpose? Because now that I'm seeing what went down in the documents, it feels like they did that on purpose. Are you just allowed to force a mistrial anytime you don't agree with some shit that you know nothing about? You don't even live in that town? That's crazy to me. Exactly, Cindy. Should have ever, they never should have seen. I agree with you, Mustang. In my opinion, yes, they got the right guy, and it's shocking how things were twisted to seem like this man was treated the worst. And the testimony with Dr. Walla is the most, that's the shit where I'm like, oh, you made this bitch sound evil. In reality, she's just a bitch trying to get by doing her damn job and doing a pretty good job, to be honest. It was wild. And then to see the Google search results, which nobody talks about. We talked about that. We read through all of everything he Google searched, but nobody brought that up. Seems pretty important when you consider he was like, I don't know much of anything, y'all. he's Googling all kinds of crazy shit about the girls. It's very annoying, but we are going to look into that. We will. We absolutely will. The docs are on the community wall. If you go to the community where it says posts, there's a link. There's one with a Reddit link where you can download them all direct in a zip file. I'm going to put the full ones up tonight because I still have the first 9. Those came in secondary. So I'm going to put those up with the originals. There is one more thing I want to show you guys. Let me, oh, Jesus, Rita Lombardi Christ. Okay, so Kobe from last week, Kobe Richards, missing, my friend's nephew. He had a flyer that was kind of hard to read, kind of hard to see. That is also on the community wall. I made a new one. I sent it to the people in San Francisco, and I do have some more information on him. For those of you who are asking what park, I was able to find the park, and at first she was going to talk to her sister, Kobe's mom, to figure out where was his park, where was the phone left, but luckily they had posted about it, and I was able to find that and got that confirmed. So here we go. I'm going to show you the new poster actually has, that was loud. The new poster actually has more information on it, like where his phone was found. So one thing that we know is that his wallet and his phone were found separate. Okay. And I'm pulling up the flyer right now so that you guys can see this, what I'm talking about here. If we go to the membership wall, let me just nope. Oh, posts. Sorry. If you go to the posts here, I'm going to pull this up. I should have just pulled this up earlier to show you guys everything. Okay, so this is the Kobe Davis update. Sorry. It's going to make the flyer nice and big. All right. So, as discussed in last night's episode, this is from the other day. Kobe is missing out of San Francisco, California. He's experiencing a mental health crisis. Kobe has been gone for over a month. All right. So back in June, he went missing. Created a shareable flyer with the Google download link. There is a Google download link on here at the bottom. You can see. So if you want to download a big flyer and print it out, if you live in the area, that would be awesome. This is San Francisco. If you see him, just don't approach him. Call 911 or the San Francisco crisis team. And whoever you choose, it doesn't matter if it's 911 or them, just let them know that he's a missing person and make sure you stress that he has mental health issues. And one of the reasons that you want to say that is so he doesn't get shot and killed. If they know that he's having a mental health related breakdown, that could really change the way that goes should they try to stop him and check if he is Kobe. So the details are included in the flyer, but this is the new shit that I was able to find that I wanted to let you know. His last known location based on evidence, i.e. where his phone was found. His phone was found. It's Debauchee Park. Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. I wish Carrie was in the chat. She could tell me, but it's Debauchee Park. The last known sighting of him, though, was 10th Street in San Francisco. Not too far away. So basically, he was seen on 10th Street, but his phone was found in Debauchee Park, and his wallet was found elsewhere. I believe in between those two. The numbers to call are on the flyer. If I have more info, I'll add it. But yeah, he's 5'9". This is what he looks like. Let me see if I can get the full flyer up here. It cut it off. Damn it. It's fine. It's fine. This is the old flyer. This is the new one. His wallet was found at Pier 39. His phone was found at Debauchee Park. He's unhoused and experiencing a mental health crisis. Remember, I told you guys sometimes it is a small park. I heard that too. So this fella, he was in a black hoodie, a San Francisco Giants black baseball hat, blue jeans, gray sneakers, black backpack. 10th Street, San Francisco, June 3rd. Okay. Then his wallet is found, Pier 39, and then Deboche Park, that's where they find his phone. They have no reason to believe, as far as anything I know, that he jumped off of the bridge or anything. I know some people were asking about that. There is a camera at all times that's pointed over there. There is what there Clover case you talked about. Yeah, Katie and her dog was Katie and her dog is in Atlanta. That's Katie Janess. We're gonna finish talking about that actually pretty soon. I have one of the ladies who had a sighting of her, who's gonna come on and talk to us about it. Yeah, they have nets under the bridge now. Embarcadero. They also, I believe, they have people down there who sit near the bridge who are actual mental health crisis counselors, right? Who are like on watch 24/7. I read that they were trying to start a project with that, and I believe they were doing it. Oh no, I know who Derek is. He had that podcast with that one lady who she's fun. She seems like she has a fun personality. Wasn't he on like he was on like Big Brother or something? I don't know. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, they make it really hard to jump. And so if that were the case, I think they would have seen it. But I believe that he's going to be around that area. I was talking to you guys about things that can be done. OSINT that can be used in this case. I think live cams still possible. At this point, I mean, the Google cars are getting pretty crazy in California and they update a ton. So I'm curious if there's any updates on Google Maps from last month. There's definitely got to be some sort of world cam footage out there of him. There's traffic cams that can be looked at. Waymo cars. Yep. Waymo information coming out, right? Those cars are terrifying here. Cops trying to pull them over is very funny to see though. But yeah, I have a thread here going. I told you guys if you want to comment on here, you can comment. If you have any questions, you can ask questions. If you find anything, this is where you tip it in. If you need to speak to a family member, I can put you in touch with Jessica. But you heard her last week on the channel. She kind of doesn't know much more than she's told us. So that is pretty much what we have. Yeah, there's also, the train stations, the BART stations, they also have their own camera footage. And I'm thinking a lot like Hana Kobayashi. That's the type of shit that we can use in this case. It has only been a little over a month. So I do also think I can pull Broadcastify info and see if he matches the description of anyone in the area who is reported perhaps to 911 for any reason. And they weren't able to get his name, but then maybe we can see if there's someone matching the description though, that perhaps was mingling around a specific area. And then we can add to that timeline. So I think that there's a lot that can be done in this case. And with that said, we are now going to move on. And I will keep you updated on Kobe. And please, if you have any questions about him, if you want to put out flyers, if you don't have a printer, if you don't have the money to go order prints of it, you don't even have to pay for postage. Just tell me how many flyers you want and I will print them out. I will pay the postage and I will I will mail them to you, snail mail, so you can put them up around the area if you're in that area. I'm happy to do it. I'll send you like 50, 100, whatever you need. Just tell me. You don't have to do shit. You just have to pick it up. And then if you want to distribute them, if you want to put them up in a business, I'll send it to you. If you do want to print them and you have that capability and you don't mind, you can absolutely go to the link on this right here where it says drive.google. You can click on it and you can download it and then you can print out as many as you want. I will send that to you. I had a few people reach out and I was thinking about hitting you up too. So perfect. Thank you, YouTube bad actors. Good night, Mustang 65. I hope we both get Mustangs. I hope we do. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay. So with that said, now we're going to talk about, you can put up, Carrie, I was just thinking about you too. I would love that. I will, and I can send you some, I don't even mind printing them out for you guys. I don't. Also, I did have to fix the flyer because I originally spelt San Francisco wrong. So that's fun for me, huh? That's fun for me. A guy from Maine missing since 2017. I'm going to star this and I'm going to write that down in a minute. And I will absolutely go check on that. I saw that paddleboarder just they found a teen kid did that. That's horrible. And thank you so much, Carrie. And thank you so much, you two bad actors. There are so many crazy crime stories going on right now. I saw the thing about the dentist. This dad who was crossing over the border into Canada after a daddy-daughter vacation, a 10-day vacation, had this great relationship with his kid, and then he dumped her body in Vermont and just out of nowhere, and he seemed to be like this great dad. It just blew my mind. Man, there's just a lot going on in the crime world that's sick and fucked up, and I don't understand. And then the Stephen Stern stuff, I couldn't even get through that. That made me nauseous. I couldn't even handle it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Yeah, Sonny Stewart, the paddleboarder. Yeah, that couple, the dad and the kid, they're from Canada, but they landed in New York and then they were driving and it was Vermont. Yeah, the Madeline stuff, it's too much. It's like, just burn him, lock him up, shoot him in the head, whatever they have to do. Whatever they got to do, just get him out of my fucking face. I don't want to see him on the news anymore. It makes me so sad. Ugh, it's so sad. Okay, so now we're going to get to the gabagool. Also, there's some news in the Etan Patz case that I want to show you before the Amy Bradley stuff. It's very short, but this was wild. I don't know what I think about this. I really don't, because I've seen clear and convincing stuff that's like, oh, maybe it could be this guy. And then the guy they got, in a way, it feels like, oh, yeah, he fucking did it. And a lot of the admissions, just a lot of the things that were evidence in this case. And then the fact that some of that evidence relies on certain things being in a certain place, and then that place doesn't exist. It's like, wait, what? This case, he was the first kid on a milk carton. Etan Patz. They finally get the guy. He confessed it. He's in prison for a long time, and now it's overturned. And he's going to get a new trial, I believe. Or the court ordered a new trial. They overturned the old verdict, so they're doing a new trial. And I just don't know how I feel. This one's a little confusing. I don't understand. Apparently, there was one juror who was a holdout, and all the other jurors were pissed off. And as they walked out of the courtroom, they were like, fucking shame on you, kid killer. Like, it was just, woo. So for them to order a new trial for this guy, he was convicted in 1979. It's in New York, right? Just wow. If you haven't seen this in the news, this is the first ever milk carton kid. This is before missing kids were really a thing. They had to invent. Remember in Houston, it was a little bit before this time with Dean Corll. They didn't even have the term serial killer back then. They called it a spree killer, right? They didn't have a missing persons unit in almost every police station in the country. They didn't have cold case detectives. So missing kids, missing elderly, this was not really a thing that they were prepared for. And in a way, this poor kid and some of the kids in the Midwest, the milk carton kids, if you will, they became a symbol that it's not really safe to play outside anymore. It's not safe to ride your bike. It's not safe for 6-year-old kids to have jobs throwing newspapers into strangers' houses. It's just not. A lot of people said that they couldn't really believe that this had even, how is a kid, how is a child under 10 not able to ride a subway all across the city all day like it's fucking baby's day out without getting harmed? How is this possible in this city? That's how delusional the 70s were. It was like, no, it's safe. Just send your kid on the subway wherever. They can walk to school. They're 6. It was, just leave your cars unlocked. No one's gonna steal your car. But everything's changed now. Everything has changed now. Laura Flynn Boyle will get you at night. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is going on in the news. This is insane. We're just going to watch 2 short news stories about it because I want to know, what do you think? It was him and Adam Walsh, wasn't it? And then it was Jacob Wetterling. And on and on and on. The little girl in Utah. In Moab, right? Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was safe to hitchhike until all the serial killers put you in a van. And now it's not safe, right? It's just wild to me. So if you want to know when did kids getting attacked start coming into play? When did putting their faces on milk cartons happen? Well, I have your answer, and the answer is
Hi. You're both high.
I apologize. That was for Auntie Ree. That was for you, Auntie Ree. I love you. All right, here we go.
Well, Shirley, the major decision that D.A. Brad...
Don't call me Shirley. Sorry.
Him now for a third time here in Manhattan. We saw him leave late tonight without announcing any decision in the case. Who killed Etan Patz? 45 years later, it's the question that still haunts the city. Monday, a federal appeals court reversed the conviction of Pedro Hernandez on a constitutional error. The New Jersey man found guilty in 2017 of abusing and strangling the 6-year-old boy on his way to school in Soho.
It's finally proved to be true, and we're finally got some justice for our son.
Until now, the defense won their appeal because of a note from the jury to the judge.
The question was whether the jury could disregard later confessions because the earlier confession was not preceded by Miranda warnings.
The one-word answer called into question the validity of the verdict and set up the appeal.
His answer was a simple word, no, when it should have been maybe, or of course you should consider whether or not you should reject the other confessions that were made.
Getting mad at the Constitution. I know why we need it. I just don't respect it anymore because here's the thing. Nobody else gives a fuck about it. They really don't. It's fine to stomp all over certain constitutional rights, but not others. Not others. We'll take your speech, but don't touch our guns. We'll fucking, you know what? The whole, like, they didn't give a Miranda warning. Like, a technicality pisses me off. I get why. I understand why it's so fucking vital and important. But if my fucking president's not paying taxes, here's what I'm saying. People wipe their ass with the Constitution on a daily basis, and we're going to let this fucking pedo out? Okay. I don't get it. This is one that I would like a reputable defense attorney to just chime in on. Apparently they're fighting for it. There's a case here in Texas that we've talked about where the guy murdered a pregnant woman and tortured her, and he got out on bond, and it should be capital murder, and he's out on bond, and they issued a writ of habeas corpus on him, and I'm just so furious. It's very picky choosy when it comes to the Constitution.
Harvey Fishbein defended Hernandez in his first trial that ended in a hung jury, as well as the second he's just won on appeal. The holdout juror right here predicted this outcome 8 years ago.
There will be another trial. They're going to appeal the case, and there will be a third trial. And I hope for
So remember, I told you how there was one juror that held out of all of them. This is the guy. This is the guy that was like, I don't know. And then all the other jurors were super pissed that there was even one, and that it took like, it was like 8 or 9 days or something before they came to a decision. And the parents of this poor kid had to sit there and wait every single day. Whew. Oh, it was the longest, took forever for them to come to a sentence.
I hope for
come to a decision.
Different judge. I hope for different venue if possible.
NYPD sources who worked the case said Hernandez repeatedly confessed to the boy's killing at a church prayer group and to detectives.
Sometime in the morning, he was waiting for the school bus.
Who was waiting for the school bus?
The kid.
What's his name?
Etan.
It really is wild that people can be a judge in this country with no fucking experience. You don't have to be an attorney. You don't have to be a prosecutor. You don't have to have any experience with the law. You could just be a judge. You can be appointed judge when you have absolutely no experience. And eventually, one day, you might make it up to SCOTUS. And that is fucking crazy. That's like saying, hey, if this rich guy likes you, who is the president, you want to be a doctor? Like, you just can't do that. What the fuck are we doing here? The fact that there are judges appointed who have absolutely no history whatsoever in the law, the Constitution, with anything, half of them can't fucking read. It's wild to me. I don't understand it.
Neither Etan's body nor physical evidence was ever found. Fishbein says his client suffers from a diminished mental capacity.
Oh, I know. Amy Coney Barrett. Oh, I know. None whatsoever. There's a woman that was taking kickbacks for juvenile sentences, I believe, in Georgia, who had a horrible reputation. She was a terrible person, child abuse out the ass. There's a woman in San Antonio who was a judge, and then she became the head of a Republican Party, a conservative movement, like a super PAC type thing. Her husband's a pedophile. He's on the sex registry. They don't give a fuck. Whew.
And was coerced into confessing.
The ultimate decision is going to be in the New York County District Attorney's Office as to whether they wish to proceed or not. And if they do wish to proceed, whether they can withstand our challenges to dismiss the indictment.
So the 64-year-old is serving a 25-year to life prison sentence and will stay behind bars until Manhattan District Attorney Bragg decides what to do next. We reached out to several members of the Patz family, who has since moved now to Hawaii, and have not yet heard back. Live in Lower Manhattan, I'm Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11 News.
Dude, I'm at least glad they're in Hawaii. I'm just glad they're in Hawaii because that's a beautiful place and they don't deserve any more pain. Okay, now it's time for the big shit tonight. I'm going to tell you guys how, and I'm going to actually split this up and make this a whole new video also, because I think that this could actually be something that maybe it could help. I don't know. After looking at some of the footage, yeah, maybe actually. We're going to talk about Amy Bradley. If you don't know about Amy Lynn Bradley, there is a fantastic documentary on Netflix right now. It is really incredible. It's the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. She's a woman who in 1998 went missing off of a cruise ship. And it was docked in Curacao, the Caribbean. She was there with her family, her brother, her dad, her mom. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play. Here's the thing. Again, the only shit that I could find on her that is okay to play, that is not going to copyright strike me, is from the FBI. So that's good. So I think it's legit. They've been working on this case for over 25 years. There have been so many sightings of her. We're going to talk about some of those in a minute, but I can't encourage you more. Watch the documentary. It is so good. It is so good. I do think that this is one of those cases, and I was just talking to Turbo about this the other day. Like, this is one of those cases where I do think she could still be alive. Like, I'm not kidding. I really do. A lot of people do. Her brother has been all over Twitter advocating for her since the documentary came out. His name's Brad Bradley, and he rules. He's a very nice dude. He is going to be on Uncle Mike's channel tomorrow on the Young Jerks. I'm going to try to get him to come on here. I wrote to him a long time ago, like over 20 years ago, about his sister's case. And there's just been so much digitized since then that I was thinking about a new way to maybe look at it, like to try to look for hints, try to look for tips. And I would love to run that by you tonight. And that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to hop on out of here. But first, let me show you what the FBI put out on her so you can get some good looks at her. And again, I cannot recommend more. Watch the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. It's very well researched. James Renner does have an interview with one of the lead persons of interest or suspects, according to everybody looking at the case. I don't know that he's officially been named a suspect. I would love to ask Brad that, but he's one of the main people that a lot of people are very concerned with. The guy's name is Yellow. He goes by Yellow. He was in the band on the cruise ship that she went missing from. And the interview is very enlightening. His own daughter is in the documentary, and she calls him and surprises him by asking him questions, basically interrogating him on camera. In the interview that Runner did, he went to Curacao to find him, interviewed him, and when he's interviewing him, Yellow actually explains how one time my daughter called me and this is what happened, and you realize, oh shit, he's talking about the documentary. And this is before it came out, the interview, well before, months before. And he even says 8 months ago she called. So it makes you remember, I told you guys, when they're making a true crime documentary, it's like usually filmed a year or more in advance, on average. So with the whole Asa and Victoria thing, the reason I was like, chill is because a lot of that stuff was filmed, way long ago. I think she's unusual because she has a daughter, and it's got to be hard, worried about your dad doing something like that, having suspicions, but also having a daughter and feeling like you want to help this family. And maybe your dad will be honest with you for once and you can help them in a way that will cause real change. Like if she gets it on camera that he even changes his story the slightest and it leads to a lead, she was willing to do that, for these strangers, this family, just because she felt it in her heart. I saw conflict in her eyes and in her speech. I feel like that little girl just really, I feel like even though she's an adult woman now, she's kind of suspended in this disbelief of, could my dad do this? You could kind of tell the way she talked about it. So for me, she was a bit unusual, but I think it's because of the position she was put in, I don't think it's really I'm not saying you're saying this, but I don't think it was nefarious so much as it is what an odd position to be in. And I kind of feel bad for her, but I'm also curious, he said in the interview with Renner that when she had called, he could tell someone was there. So I wonder if she didn't anticipate him knowing that she might be recording it or doing an interview with a documentary or something. And so for her, maybe it was a bit of a surprise and she doesn't feel like he was being honest. And that could have really been an issue, if you will. Oh, interesting. I'm going to have to go check that out. In Texas. Well, I'll get in my car right now. My tags are out, but I'll go find them. Fuck it. That poor kid, man. Anyway, let's watch Amy Lynn Bradley. Let's watch what the FBI put out about her. And then I'm going to tell you something that I think we could do to possibly help. I really think that there are things that can be done by the community in general, the people who view this stuff, the people who are into true crime, the people who want to be web sleuths and want to I want to play cop is what they always say as a joke. But it's if the cops didn't want you to be looking at this case, they wouldn't be saying, help us. We need sightings. We need this is one of the ones where they need people to look at it. But what ways can we look at it that are new, that haven't already been tried? I do think tunnel vision can be a big issue with a lot of cases. Amy, look at Delphi. Look at all the people who are obsessed with Keegan and all these other people. And what happened? They went back to the beginning, right? Tip from the beginning. They missed. The amount of cold cases that end up getting solved, or just cases in general, where you go back to the beginning and there's something very remarkable, very high number. So I'm sitting here going, maybe, with this case, it's been 25 years. They keep going back to the beginning. What if that's the tunnel vision? What if we need to be looking elsewhere at other things? So I started mowing that through my old brain. And I thought, there is something that maybe we can do now, especially with the amount of footage that is digitized. I was actually watching some of the funny found footage when I thought about this, because we've used this in cases, at least I've used this in cases where it's somebody who is walking a blade or a track, like sex workers, and women who are trafficked as well, obviously, when they're out there in the open air market, if you will, walking the streets. There are people who drive around on YouTube and film this, ride with me while I drive down Bissonnette in Houston and they put the date. If you have a missing kid from that date, right? And you know that they were likely they got trafficked and this trafficker has been on Bissonnette before. You can sit on your ass at home, even from another state, and be of service and help by going to YouTube and watching for that date and see if any of those girls look like this missing girl. And then you can report it. That has actually worked many times. A couple of other cases, I made a few notes. There's a woman named Sam Fiddler who's missing. I work with her sister, and her sister, her friends, her best friend back home in Canada, and people in Florida and Dallas on that case pretty frequently. We have talked about, like, maybe we need to go back. Every single picture we thought we had of Sam, every single sighting we thought we had of Sam, every single possibility of where she could have been, every proof of her existence we thought we had. And then one day found a really old picture of her past the timeline. Like the timeline, what we thought, oh, we have it up until this date. This is when we last see pictures of her or proof that she was around. Then we find a picture of her on a beach with a whole different group of friends just by sorting through found photo footage. So another example, I guess, would be like, I hesitate with this one, but Edward Wayne Edwards. Remember the amount of people who are like, oh, he was the guy who was everywhere. Well, do you remember the whole thing? He was in the background. He wanted to be a background extra. So he was in the background of the West Memphis 3 movie, right? He was in the background of Making a Murderer, they said. I thought that was another guy who looked like the Jurassic Park grandpa, but everybody swears it's Edward Wayne Edwards. Okay. He's been in the background of so much footage and so many documentaries and so much shit that it's like, oh my God, there's just a serial killer popping up in the background of all of this stuff. I think when establishing a timeline, that can be super helpful. Ted Bundy's bug, his VW, was spotted parked at Lake Snohomish, I think is how you say it, on the day that he took 2 girls to a cabin. And the FBI had people turn in a bunch of photographs from back then. And boom, there's this car right there, just parked without a doubt. And they had trouble putting him there other than witness descriptions, which are not always super reliable. But to have his vehicle right there, perfect. That's what we need. So I'm thinking, how can we find that for Amy? I'm going to tell you after you watch this. Also, what D you did? D, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The 3 brothers who would take somebody to help find missing people. I think they're in Tennessee. Chasing Evil. No, I'm starring a bunch of yours tonight. I'm going to go watch that. Definitely. And thank you. I appreciate that. That will actually go to my tags and not Alf Sex Hotline. I promise. Thank you. John List was located after John Walsh reviewed his case and showed Frank Bender's bust. Oh, yeah. If you have any that you can think of that make you go, I remember when this person was seen in the background of this thing and it helped solve a case. Put it in the chat. I want to hear about that. Here's some more about Amy Lynn Bradley straight from the FBI. And then I'm going to show you the playlist that I made you and tell you how we can maybe help.
Lynn Bradley, the talented basketball player and college graduate, disappeared while on a family vacation when she was just 23 years old. It happened on a Royal Caribbean International cruise liner Rhapsody of the Seas somewhere between Aruba and Curacao, Netherlands, Antilles. Special Agent Aaron Sheridan says just a few days into the trip, on March 23, 1998, Amy and her brother had a night out.
So that evening, Amy was out at the disco with her brother, other passengers and crew, socializing and having a great time. In the morning, when her parents and her brother woke, Amy was gone.
Amy's brother, Brad, was the last family member to see her.
Myself and my parents have had to endure a lot of sadness, but the last thing that I ever said to Amy was I love you before I went to sleep that night. Knowing that that's the last thing I said to her has always been very comforting to me.
Investigators say so many details of Amy's night out remains a mystery. A reward of up to $25,000 is available for information leading to the resolution of Amy's case.
If you have any information, whether it be that you are a passenger or a crew member, we ask that you come forward. The smallest detail could assist us in finding out what happened to Amy.
These are age-progressed photographs of what Amy could look like today. Amy has several tattoos, including a sun, a gecko lizard, and a Tasmanian devil spinning a basketball. Report tips to your local FBI office nearest American.
And by the way, in a minute, I'm going to show you her brother's X account where he posted pictures of those tattoos, which is amazing. I do wonder if we can run it across the tattoo research project. So that's another thing that can be done. Also, I'm looking at your comments about Sebastian, Auntie, and I would like to read those in a moment. Let me star them because that is interesting. That is very interesting. Let's continue.
American Embassy or Consulate. You can also send information to tips.fbi.gov. Tips can be anonymous. With Wanted by the FBI, I'm Molly Halpern of the Bureau.
Okay. So, thank you, Molly. Thank you, Molly. All right, let me bring this down real quick. Stop sharing. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this playlist. Let me pop it up real quick. And I'm actually going to show you a view that you only typically see if I'm cutting out or going back into a playlist or a video. So I'm going to show you the entire. Oh, it's so loud. I let me turn it down a little. I don't want to bust your eardrums. I'm going to show you this from the perspective of like how I see it without it full screened. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm showing you this. All right. So here's what I did. I was thinking about this and about how there has been a resurgence of people taking their old footage from their handheld cameras and shit from the 80s and 90s and putting them online. When I was at the University of North Texas, one of my jobs for a whole semester was digitizing old newspaper resources. So if you ever go to the University of North Texas repository for news, it's going to be like news footage, newspaper, stuff like that. I was one of the people who worked on digitizing that and then taking the video and translating it, putting it online, transposing it, putting it online. So that was interesting because back then, and this was like 2002 to 2004 time frame. I don't remember the exact year, but back then when we started the project, it was like everything we had was from like the 1910s, the 1890s, you know, up to by the time I left, they were starting like the 1950s, and that was just newspapers. So it was fascinating to me when, you know, 2 decades later, I look at it and there's stuff from last week. Like they are very caught up and they had so many people contribute. And every university across the country does this. They almost all of them exclusively state by state, whatever the biggest university is in your state, or, you know, usually it's like a liberal arts school or school with a big newspaper or journalism program. Back then it was newspaper. Now it's journalism, communication, stuff like that. They're constantly digitizing old archives, and that's all going straight on the Wayback Machine, but it's also going into these archives that the public can use. You don't even have to go to the school. And we've talked about this in past videos a lot. Now, one of the things that I thought was really important, especially when it comes to cold cases from the 80s and 90s, is being able to have somewhere where you can go back and look at unedited news footage. You know how like they'll just take like a little snippet, but they'll film forever, especially of search parties. The amount of people who took part in search parties back in the day and ended up being the guy, fitting the description. It's a pretty big number. There are correlations to all sorts of different cases that can be drawn from other cases when you see the old archived footage that you might not see back, or you might not have seen back then because of the multi-jurisdictionality of it. Like if you have a case in California, they're not always communicating with the cops in Texas. But when you're archiving kidnappings from 1990, you might see them next to each other and go, oh, shit. It's also something that I think helped a lot with the trucker initiative, with like highlighting these clusters, the trucker maps. This is all timeline based. So basically, we've talked about this before, but we're going to talk about it again today. I think it could be helpful Now that there is so much, think about it this way. Every single day that you get older, you're the oldest you've ever been. Right? So every single day you're getting older and older. That's the oldest you've been. Tomorrow, you're going to be the oldest you've ever been. The day after that, you're going to be the oldest you've ever been. Right? With video archive footage and audio, with all archive footage, the way I look at it is this is more footage than we've ever had before. Every day that somebody is adding to and adding to and adding to the content, Stevie, no, I'm the youngest person alive. Grounded. Every time you are adding to content, some of it, yeah, every day, like 1 or 2 videos die, they take it, copyrights or whatever. But when it's found footage and stuff, every time you're adding to it, it's just stacking. It's stacking, stacks and stacks and stacks. Now, the weird thing about, and kind of the cool thing about handheld, like personal archive footage of somebody just holding their camera and looking at something is typically low engagement. You're not going to see a lot of views. This video here has 74,000, but this is newer. You're going to see one in here. It had 0 when I found it. There are so many videos online, especially tourist attractions, very rich. Anytime you're near a park, it's a tourist attraction, whether it's a theme park, a water park, or a public national forest. You're going to see a lot more footage than, let's say, a specific street in 1987. But you'll see a ton of families going to this park in 1987. This is important to think about and to consider. And I think that it can be used now more than ever because there is more of it that exists online than ever, that is digitized. This is important. So I was like, well, in all the things that I've heard about the Amy Bradley case, as far as sightings and tips go, it's people who are in Curacao, people who go to the Bahamas, people who go to the Caribbean, people who go to, at one point it was the Alcatraz tours. It's places that I've never been. And if you want to help and you've never been, or you don't want to get on a cruise ship now because it's terrifying to you, how could you help? Like, how would you know what the area is like? You could go to Google Maps, but that's just like one drive-through with some pictures, right? So what if you go through and you have the ability to look at other people's footage from the exact times that not only she went missing, but the sightings in other places. And I started collecting them. So we know that Amy docked in Curacao in 1998, right? And what was it? I believe the exact date was March 24th. So anything that I can find after March 24th of 1998 in Curacao, where she docked, got put on this playlist. She was supposedly sighted at a brothel by a Navy guy, and he explained kind of the area. So then I looked on the map, figured out where this area is, what else is around it. Well, oddly enough, there are a bunch of little sub mini brothels around, but there was one called Campo Alegre that was actually opened until recently, until like about 5 years ago. And that is a legal open air prostitution Dutch market. Now, Dutch, what? That's right. This is governed by the Dutch authorities there in Curacao, if I remember correctly. I believe it's the Dutch authorities. So just like Amsterdam, you know, shit's legal there. So they have this this open air sex trade that is fine, but it's pretty much relegated. It's like their bunny ranch, right? And it's on the island of Curacao. But there's also little areas, I'm not going to call them safe houses, but they're like trap houses that are kind of branched out around the city and around the island. And as I was reading more from the locals about it, I started kind of putting little map points on hotspots that I noted over the years as I looked at the case. But what's interesting is it wasn't just there. It was Barbados. I believe it was specifically 2005. There was a sighting, and there was the one at the Alcatraz tours off in California. There were rumors of Sea Org affiliation. So I looked in all that. But now we have something different that we didn't have back then. We have, again, more found footage than ever available to us. So I'm like, I wonder if there's been anything put up recently that goes back that far. And when I tell you I was shocked, at how much is available from the exact areas where she was spotted in the exact time frames, where there are just total strangers just filming. Look, this whole beach. Look, we're at the brothel. Like, there are walkthroughs of Campo Alegre. There are walkthroughs of these areas that people do at the exact time she went missing. The exact store, I believe, where that woman said she saw her in the bathroom. You can see it all on Google Maps, but what if there was footage of it? So I went looking for that. From 2005. Oh my God. There are people who literally filmed walking around Barbados in 2005 in that exact area, in that exact month, in that exact week even. So what if enough people look at it? Now, if I wanted to say like, oh, if you go through the whole video and you don't find her, that's the whole point. Like, basically, it's what I'm saying is like, as a collective, it could be helpful for a bunch of people to watch this. Not just one, because one person, you might miss something. But if 10 people watch the same video, one person might have a keen eye and go, oh, there's a tattoo. Oh, that could be Amy. The description of the people who she was with in that Barbados sighting, you might see that exact description with a girl that looks like Amy far away, but they're walking from that store. And then, oh, what's that? That's the blonde lady. She's wearing a maroon top. That's what she said she was wearing in the sighting. Like, these are the type of things that they can confirm other sightings. They can confirm a tip, a lead. So these can be confirming, but they can also be debunking. Let me give you another example. If somebody says, oh, that ship only docked in this port on this month, and then you go to that port and it's under construction and it's that exact month, then you might go, oh shit, well, actually that changes things. Well, where did it dock instead? And then you have to find that. Oh, she was seen in this restaurant sitting out here in 2002. And then you go to that restaurant and it wasn't even open yet. It used to be a flea market. Maybe they're lying. There was one in particular that actually had nothing to do with video, and her brother put up, we need to find this person, and it had the full name. It was Leslie Charles, and they lived in this specific island, Saint something, I can't remember the exact name, but anyway, it had a phone number and stuff, but like, it doesn't work anymore. What do we do? They didn't have their address, so there's no way to trace them. Well, I ran it through old phone book. And guess what? That number is available. And now you see an address. So now you can go look up on people search finders and see if anything matches, because that's a very common name. There are things that we have at our disposal today that were not available 5 years ago, last year, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 20. Like, every day that goes by, our knowledge pool expands. So I'm looking at this going, what if as a collective, we all take our time to go comb through footage that some of it has never been seen? Some of it's incredibly old, has less than 10 viewers, but we don't necessarily know, hey, maybe no one who knows about Amy's case has seen this yet. And let's say you do see her. You can go straight to X and link it to her brother and say, hey, is this your sister? That's something that we couldn't do 20 years ago. Her brother has made himself available to the entirety of the internet to try to help his sister. And that is so fucking brave of him. And because we have this capability, this is something that I think could maybe help. I'm going to show you a little bit of the footage, because some people are like, well, this feels like a needle in a haystack. Well, I think when you see what's available, it might change your mind. Also, D, I was thinking about that. Here's the thing. A lot of these issues, it's not necessarily like someone kidnaps you, puts their hand over your mouth and drags you off the boat. It's luring, it's grooming. It's just like anything else. They might have sweet talked her on the boat and said, you got one girl. She said, this guy who was last talking to Amy tried to lure us to, Carlos and Charlie's or something in Aruba, because that was one of the stop-offs. And I just got a bad feeling about it. Didn't feel safe. Well, what do we know today? That was 20-something years ago. Today, we know that Natalie Holloway, all these different people who left Aruba to go hang out with specific locals at specific bars ended up dead. There's a guy in Austin who got the shit beat out of him to near death. There's just so many. So I'm thinking about it like this, you know, when it comes to Amy Bradley, what are the chances? And this is just, I probably shouldn't do this, but this is my speculation. This is my own speculation, my own thoughts. What are the chances that just like so many other people, because I've heard these stories, one of my friends this happened to, they got off a cruise ship. They were told you have to be back by this exact time. The boat departs. We don't wait on anybody. There's like a strict no fucking waiting on any damn one policy. Now that never rang true to me until I was in Hawaii. I was forced to go on a tour, which was actually very fun, but I almost missed the damn tour bus. And when I tell you they were leaving without me, I'm not shitting you. They will leave without you. I remember this dad on that bus. Also, they almost ditched him, and he was obsessed with this surfer named Stacy something. This guy, he just wanted to see the Billabong house so bad. He's like, I gotta see the Billabong house. Me and him almost got left the fuck behind. His kids were on the bus, and they were going to take his kids without him. So here's the thing. You don't really think, I thought they're not going to leave me and the surfer guy. His kids are on it. Well, guess what? They were we were about to be left. They run on ship time, not local or any other. Exactly. If you're not there, you're fucked. You're stuck. So I thought, I wonder how many people, because I do have a friend who got off her cruise with her boyfriend, and they went sightseeing. They bought some antiques. They got a little wasted on a cruise in this town. I think it was Jamaica. And the ship fucking left. And now they're stuck on the island. And then fucking all their shit is on the ship. And they're crying. And they're like, oh no. And they're drunk and they're trying to speak patois and it's not working out for them. It was terrible. Literally ruined their technically marriage and summer. But I'm telling you, what are the chances that she got off the boat? Because here's what I'm thinking. Who leaves their cigarettes behind when they're a chain smoker? That's what bothered me. I'm a chain smoker. I would never leave my cigarettes behind. If I was going to be gone 10 to 15 minutes, I wouldn't do it. Even Yellow said in the documentary, he said she was chain smoking. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And she said, because I'm gay. And I was like, is this that video from YouTube of that guy? Anyway, some of you will get that. But that part, I kind of believed him. I was like, that sounds like me. That sounds like what a lot of people would do. Apparently she was chain smoking. Apparently she had her cigarettes out on the dock, right? So if you get up and you leave like the outside area and you leave your cigarettes behind and you walk out on the ship and you'd been drinking and you'd been up a little bit all night, just what would I do? I would I would think she'd either have to take a piss or maybe go eat or go to sleep. Simple as that. Whatever she intended, I don't know that she intended to leave the ship, right? But what if she did and she just forgot her cigarettes? You know, she could have left the ship real quick. I'm going to go get cigarettes. I wonder, I would like to ask if they sold cigarettes on the ship. I would think they didn't. So I do wonder, was she going to get cigarettes? Ended up meeting someone. Said, sure. They're like, come on, have a drink. Come on, watch this band. Did she just miss the ship? I mean, everybody else, it's like, it's nefarious. She was drugged. She was kidnapped, all this stuff. What if she just ran off real quick? She wanted to go get like a souvenir, a drink, something. What if somebody said, here, I'll take you to where you can get cheap cigarettes? You know, and then she just missed it. That sounds like some shit that would happen to me. And I think about that a lot. And now she's stuck and she doesn't have phone numbers memorized, maybe. I don't know. And then before you know it, someone sees that and takes advantage of her vulnerability. And now so to me, I don't think it's necessarily that she was kidnapped and she had the opportunity to kick and scream. I do wonder if it was a slow thing. See, that's another thing, Shane, that I was wondering. Without her shoes on is interesting because that's why I was like, she left her cigarettes. She leaves with her shoes off. So she's intending to go back, right? I do wonder if she was tipsy enough. I don't know. I hesitate on whether or not to ask her brother this, but like everybody's wearing flip-flops, right? On these, like, I've seen drunk friends steal hats. I've seen my friend steal her boyfriend. I wonder, did she slip on some shoes real quick that they missed? Did she slip on someone else's shoes? Did she walk barefoot? I don't know. I wouldn't. But also when I was in the casino in Vegas, I saw a lot of people walking barefoot. And I was like, yikes. Just to go all the way down the hall to get a cigarette. I'm like, God damn. I do wonder. It was 1998. She was in her early 20s. And it's sunny and it's beautiful. And you're disembarking what? On a beach, right? Now, I saw there was a boardwalk there, but I wonder, was she just planning to go down to the beach? So why bother taking her shoes? But also, why leave your smokes, right? So I don't know, Shane. I don't know. That's kind of the part that throws a rut in what I'm thinking. But here's one thing. Being an adult who's lured off a boat, it would have to be something. It would have to be something to where she thought she was just going to come back real quick. It's very strange. Anyway. I think about all the different circumstances this could happen. And then I think, okay, if she's not on the boat and she couldn't have gone overboard, which a lot of people are saying impossible. Okay, fair enough. Let's just say it is. Let's say she didn't get off the boat. And let's say she was never found on the boat. So she must have gotten, you know what I mean? She didn't jump off. She didn't commit suicide, but she also, you know, maybe even if she could have voluntarily or involuntarily, what if she is just on that island and was not on the boat? Okay, fair enough. Let's consider that. What are the chances that she's seen in another tourist video, just in the background? With that said, here's what I've compiled. So this is Campo Alegre. I'm just going to play a little bit of this. This is in Curacao. This is 12 years ago. This is 2012, so 13 years ago. This is the place where people go to, you know, hire sex workers, and they are partying in the street. It is very shaky video. As you can see, there are a lot of people. It's a little bit blurry. There's a mixture of different cultures. There's a lot of music playing. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But so, yeah, that's the thing, Bubsy, is, yeah, she'd been sitting out there talking all night. I believe she'd been dancing all night and then was there talking with her brother. And then he got up to go to bed. And then she said she wanted to stay out there because she liked the wind, you know. And she had her cigarettes out there, but she was a chain smoker. I was thinking maybe she just went down to a different floor of the ship to get something to eat, because when you're drunk, right, you kind of want to eat something right away. At least that's observing my drunk friends. That's what I noticed. I don't drink. I'm a smoker. So I'm like, give me all the snacks. But they're also like that, but they like to indulge. I do wonder, did she get up and go to an early buffet or something in the breakfast area? Okay. So this is another one. This is from 2017. Now these are not nearly as old. I started with the recent ones. Okay. This is what it looks like from the outside, Campo Alegre. And I don't want to play all of his videos or all of his video, but I'll just show you some of it. He's doing a drive-through so that you can see the camp and how far it is from the airport and how far it is from where the boats docked, the ports, where all the tourist areas are. So this is a good drive around area. But again, this is fairly new. Just because they're at Campo Alegre. I put that in there just in case. I found it a little important so that you could see the difference in how long it takes. Like the entire drive, it's about 15 minutes. And he makes that drive all the way to the airport, but he passes where the boats dock. And I think that's important. You can see what the town looks like. You can see that it's not really super easy. It's not a place where you can start on one end and then walk all the way across as a tourist and just get away with it and then come back. It's not like that. Like you kind of have to have a car to get to certain places that are considered the bad places. One of which is a place where she was spotted. It was the band. They could have gagged her and snuck her out through the equipment case. They have huge boxes on wheels to bring the equipment in and out. Can easily hide apart. I agree. But I believe the band was staying on board, right? That was one of the things that kind of debunked a lot of that, was like they were staying on board, weren't they? I don't know. I would like to I'll ask Brad if I can get him on here. That's a good question. They do that with Taylor Swift, right? At the concert. That's a good thought. I'm very interested in hearing your theories. Father said there were 7 light beers on the tab, but people could have been buying or drink shots. That's absolutely true, Shane. That is absolutely true. They could have. In fact, I think they tried to, right? Maybe was it Yellow or someone in the band? There was somebody also who was standing on the stairs watching her dance and then disappeared. There was also, and her brother kind of debunked this morning on X, but he had been concerned about Scientologists who were talking to her on the ship. And then the Scientologists coming to him in the parents' hotel room afterwards, trying to comfort them and give them grief relief counseling. And for the longest time, he thought they had something to do with it because of where the Scientologist ship docked, which is right next to their ship. The people who hate Scientologists because they were in that cult and then they debunk it, like homeboys, Miskovich's niece, who was rebuked from Scientology, and now she spends her life advocating for victims of Scientology. She and others who used to be in it, who really can't stand it, they are anti-Scientology. They advocate against it, and they advocate for the victims of it, including themselves. They reached out to Brad, and on Twitter, he explains that after talking to them, he realizes that it likely wasn't Scientology. And he has a long, great explanation why. And I feel like good for him to put that to rest, because I was very concerned reading that shit. Like, oh, shit. But again, these people, I do think that they are reputable. They're respectable because, I actually have an answer to that, Clam. I'll tell you in a minute. A lot of these people, they are very reputable. They are very anti-Scientology. They have no reason to make excuses for them. If anything, they're like, fuck Scientology, right? But even they say, like, no, this is normal behavior. This is what they used to do. And they really wouldn't likely kidnap her. And here are the reasons why. And they like explain all that to him on Twitter. But I did think that was interesting. Now, Clam, to answer your question, Shelly has a voter registration record in, what's it called? Petonia, California. It's up in, it's Humboldt County. She had a voter registration record up there not too long ago. So I don't want to talk about it. That shit spooks the fuck out of me. But yeah, apparently that's where I tried looking into it more. No, not Petaluma. I think it's Petonia. I think that's what it's called. It's like where one of their they have one that's like the CSA or Christian Science or Church of Scientology Center or some shit. That's in Twin Peaks up on this mountain. What is that town in California called? Is it Palomia? Something like that. I was just looking the other day. I was like, oh, that's weird. Shelly Miskovich isn't her real name. It's actually like Michelle Diane or something. I had looked up her real name and then I ran it through all these tools to see if there was any mention of her. And she had a voter registration record in Humboldt, California. I want to say it's what's it called? Ah, shit. What's it called? It's like a really tiny town too. And then I found out after looking at that, excuse me, I was like, well, I wonder if there's any Scientology shit there, if that's really her. It's under her real name. And then it turns out there is. And then I found a lot of people who were like, this is where Shelly is held. And I was like, oh. And it was all like really crazy channels. So I was like, oh, maybe they saw this too. I did see one guy mention that he found a voter registration record for her from a long time before the one I found. I thought that was interesting. I was like, so she done been there. Oh, frig. Can't remember the name of the town. It starts with a P. It's in Humboldt. Somebody in the chat might know. It's not Petaluma. Petrolia. That's it. That's it. Because petroleum. I remember that. Yep. That's it. It's Petrolia. That's the town. That's where her voter registration is. It's not, because Petaluma, California is where Tsunami Bomb, my favorite band, who I have a tattoo of, used to play. And I know that town. This is a different one. Yeah, propane and propane. This Petrolia. That's it. And they have this weird building there. It's a very weird building there. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if she's there, because she does have a voting record there. So, yeah, Petrolia or whatever. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some of the crazy ones. So this one is Aruba and Curacao, and this is from 1998. 13 years ago is when this was posted. Has 387 views. It is over an hour long of footage from all over two of the places where rumored sightings of her have been. And yeah, you're going to see a lot of ocean. You're going to see a lot of random scenery. But at some points in these, you do see people. And I do think it's interesting. Some of it's a little blurry. But I do think it's interesting how back then, this might not look like much. But they might be walking towards someone, or might see someone walk by and go, oh, that kind of looks like Amy. You know what I mean? Or that looks like these two guys. So this one is mostly outdoor wildlife footage. Now there are others, there's the carnival, there's the Blue Wonders of the Caribbean. Right here, it says it's Rolling Tones, Curacao Carnival in 1998. Discover Curacao from 1999. But here's where we're going to get good. This person. So Antal Grimberg went and filmed pretty much the entire summer of 2000 in Curacao. Every single bit of that island is on here. So whether you're trying to learn more about the island and the nightlife and where to go to have a freak off, this could be your place. But you're also going to see a lot of strangers, and the people in this video, they approach people, they talk to them, they meet strangers. Right here, this is one of the docks where they come off, and you just see, this is 2000. So this is 2 years after she's missing. And look at all the different strangers. And this is just a minute 23, right? This is a totally different video, but minute 23, you see a lot of different people right there. But then right here, this is the August one, and this is from Antal. This is I really appreciated how much stuff was available. So one guy where he's scubaing, I noticed, I believe, is this area where these people are. And it's in 2000. Now, he said he spotted her, I believe, after that, right? And she went missing in 98. So what are the chances that she had just been there a couple of years? So I'm thinking, well, if this is where he spotted her, let's look at this area. Let's see. And you see people in the background. You see people walking around. This is pretty great footage. And it's just strangers, but you're also seeing random people on the beach. You're seeing cars. You're seeing people. Well, that's nighttime. These people, you see people in the background over there. You're just zooming in on the scuba divers. Remember that guy was scuba diving? And he's like, I saw Amy. I swear I saw her. Now, then I look down here, 502 views. Nobody even commented saying anything like, have you heard of Amy Bradley? So I'm like, I wonder if these people could have her in their footage and they don't even know. Maybe they don't even know, right? There's so many. Look at all these. 30 minutes, 23 minutes. So many from Antal. Thank you, Antal. But then we go down. This is more recent. This is 2017. It's just a guy touring. I just thought this was a really good one for getting to see what the shops are like, because he goes into a lot of them. Now down here, as we go on, this is Barbados. Remember, there was a sighting in Barbados in 2005. Well, whoop-de-doo. Look at all this footage, specifically of Bridgetown, Barbados, where she was sighted by that guy. And you've got all this found footage. Barbados, sights and sound. October. Now, in these, yeah, you're going to see people in a car, but you're also, in this one, they're going out to more isolated locations, and they're going further down the island. And what I noticed is the direction that's given and some of the descriptions of the beaches that are given by some of the alleged sightings lead to this area. Now, there is one video where there's a girl that looks just like Amy, but it's not Amy, and it's her family that's filming her. But it is kind of crazy. And I was like, I do wonder if she's one of the people that people keep reporting seeing. Now, we're obviously not going to go through all of this today. There's so much footage on here. Willemstad is another one that I was reading about that, you know, some people, when they get trafficked, they end up here. So if the trafficking thing's true, let's check this out. There's one person who had some footage of the Scientology boat, and I messaged them because they said they had more, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. They might upload it for us from 1998-99. This is when there was a hurricane, and then I was like, wait, there was a hurricane? Well, where did she go? Where did she go during the hurricane? Are we going to see her out? Are we going to see her in the background? So yeah, what I did was I made this playlist. Right now it's 53 videos long. I went through, I vetted all of them to make sure that they're accurate. See this? Vision of the Seas, Panama Cruise Canal, October 2005. You're going to see like the ship coming in. You're going to see different people. You're going to see looking down. Now, this is not her ship at all, but you are going to see the different port areas. You're going to see a lot of strangers on there. Do you see someone with her tattoo? Now, this is the area where her ship was. So look at how many people are there too. You can easily get lost on that island. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. You will see me at Aquarina Springs. I was obsessed with that swimming ass pig. I thought it was cute. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of stuff. Now, some of it going to be a bit blurry, obviously, which is why I think it's important to have multiple different people looking. You know, just because one person looks through and says, I don't see nothing, doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that there ain't nothing there. It means one person didn't see something. The second person might. So it's important to get a lot of eyes on this. Now, is this going to help? Is she in the background? Is the likelihood high? I don't fucking know. Maybe. I hope so. But it's something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. And it's something that I don't know was always available. Like some of these videos, look, put up 2 years ago, 138 views. Cruise memories. Like some of these videos are people who are going back and they're finding found footage and they're reminiscing. They're having nostalgia. And they're like, oh, I remember when we went on this cruise, but they don't know anything about the case, maybe. You know, they might not know that they have Amy in their footage. This is a concert. What if they took her to a concert to traffic her? I don't know. It is Carnival. You know, that's where all the crazy shit happens. Now, some people, haters, might say, you know, hey, so if you see her, is that going to solve the case? Maybe not. But it adds to the timeline. And again, it can 100% back up somebody else's sighting or story. It can lead to maybe more inspection, closer inspection by the FBI. Who knows? It could lead to a search warrant. Well, now we have ample proof that she was with this person at this time. Or that this person was on the island and they said they weren't. Well, why are you in this footage? Some of these videos, again, like have very few views. Very few views. What is this one? Vision of the Seas. This one is, yes, 17 years ago. This one has 38,000. This is definitely going to copy. This is an interesting method. I think it could help. If someone sees something, they might say something. And I am including, you know, you're going to notice different Caribbean islands, different ports, different times. Yeah, exactly. Imagine how many have footage from their vacation, haven't posted on YT. And you know what's crazy? There were a few of these that I saw posted in the last like week. And I do wonder, are these people who went out and sought that footage because of the documentary? That's amazing. I hope so. But also somebody could, like, literally tomorrow, someone could wake up and they could be like, oh, today's the day I put these old VHS online, and it's a project they've been doing. And then they just happen to post some Curacao footage and they happen to be on that ship, you know, or maybe the ship next to it, or maybe they're just living in that town. And then boom, before you know it, look, 152 views on this. Before you know it, there could be Amy sighting. And here, this is like a restaurant. They go into bars, they go into hotels. This person on Tal probably has some of the best footage that's like feasible sighting. Like it's possible to see maybe a tattoo. You see a lot of people strolling by. They do a lot of people watching, which I really love on this one. And remember, there's two guys and they're with her and she's going into these stores. Well, is that what we're going to see here? Yeah. In the 80s and 90s, we did that. We photographed, we videotaped, but we never anticipated putting it online. So it's kind of fun to do it now, because now it's kind of in to do vintage found footage. So it's really interesting to see. You can see, look, this is 2 years after she's missing. There's a big ass ship docked right there. You can see that this still has the same sign, I think. I think this is the exact same, that store right there, as it is today. You see all these people walking. You can take a look at them, just slowly go through it. You can play it on slow. You can play it on fast, watch it multiple times. What if you see her in the background right there walking by that window? I would immediately tip it in and then send it to her brother on X. Hey, you think this is Amy? I mean, I do think it's possible. If she's hanging out with scuba divers, maybe you're going to see her by a scuba diving area. If she is in the brothel like that Navy guy said, you know, she could be in this footage. And why are they filming butts? This could be, you know, a situation where they're, what if she waited at this, at like a train or a plane, like, you know what I mean? She waited at an area to try to get help, and maybe she's just sitting there waiting. I do wonder about that. Now, I haven't had time to go through all of this, but I do think it has some potential. I don't know if it's going to bring forth any fruit, but I hope so. Also, what if she went to the airport to be like, I need help, I got left behind. And then they're like, sorry. And then she's just at the airport. I think that's important. All right. Anyway, that playlist, it's called Curacao Found Footage, circa 1998 to present day. I have a description. I'm going to be adding to it constantly. If you find something that is not on there, that is from any of the applicable years or in between up until present day, that you think could help, or that you want me to add to the playlist, like just put it in, you can just email it to me and I will add it to it. For now, yeah, I agree. And the more recent footage, Shane, is going to be on the top, by the way. If you're into that, go look at the top. There's a bulk of it's at the top, and then some's a little in the middle. Oh, I got a tickle in my pickle. All right. So this is, if you could copy paste it, please do so. This is the playlist. You could also just go to, again, the page, and then you can click play all, and you could just start cruising through it, and I'll keep adding to it. And it's open for everyone to see. I posted it on Twitter already, so anybody who wants to check it out, they can. I do plan on adding some of the Alcatraz tour footage from that applicable year. Try to find more footage from around the specific building where the woman saw her in the bathroom. Just anything that I can. There was a really good, it wasn't The Stranger, but it was a different paper in Seattle that put out an online article about the legal brothels in Curacao back then. It had some very interesting stories. One in particular about a woman who was trafficked, and I'm going to link that on the community wall. I'm going to start an Amy Bradley thread on there, just where the posts are that we discussed earlier. And then if you want me to add a video, you can link it in the comments. but also you're going to be able to see a lot of other stuff. I don't know. I would imagine so. And another thing is, I wonder if she would know to go to one, because I think about when I was in my early 20s, I had no idea what an embassy was. I really didn't. I had no clue. I thought Nebraska was fake, dude. I literally, like, if you told me go to a U.S. embassy, I'm like, is that church? Like, I didn't learn that until my late 20s. So I do wonder if people know that, which, by the way, if you're ever stranded in a foreign country, or you're scared, or you need somewhere to go and you're in a foreign country, look for the embassy. If you didn't know that, now you know. I was a noodle brain dipshit back then, though. So I still kind of am. But yeah, I have no idea. It's a good thought. You know what? Maybe I could find footage from around the embassy. Yeah, she may not have known, but if she did know, maybe she'll be around it. These are great thoughts. I'm glad you guys are here watching. Okay. So with that said, that's the playlist. If you want to check it out and you want to tear through it, go for it. I put that up there for you. I'm going to be tearing through it as well. Last thing on the agenda, and then we'll go. I'm going to show you. I have a stuffy nose. Does anybody else have mold allergies? Because I do. Okay. Brad Bradley. This is her brother. This is him on the Twitter. On the X. If you want to add him, it's Brad Rad 5 Bradley, which is hilarious. This guy's pretty cool. Loves his sister to death, misses her, advocating for her every damn day, gets on social media. I will answer all your questions. I will go on your podcast. Let me talk about my sister. Love that for him. Respect him. Love that. This is how you follow him on X if you'd like to. I'm going to read you some updates from him. Okay, I'm going to read you some updates from Brad because I think they're important, and I'm going to make the comments go away just so that you can see them, okay? It has recently been brought to my attention on TikTok that the partitions between rooms can be opened. We never knew about this. Unfortunately, the guy next door, Wayne Breitag, apparently passed a polygraph, so the FBI won't do anything. I think they should revisit him. Okay, there you go. Now, I do wonder, did these partitions open back then, or is this an update to the ship? I'm going to like it, but I'm going to remind myself to find out about that, because sometimes TikTokers can have noodle brains themselves. And yeah, he is a really good guy, Shane. He seems very nice. So he's also been keeping people up to date with shit that he debunks and finds. I believe he and Yellow should be re-questioned and re-polygraphed. I'll cheers to that. If they have nothing to hide, they should have no problem agreeing to it. That is true. Here's the one. Many of you have asked about Amy's tattoos. Below are some of the tattoo designs. The baby Tasmanian devil is purple. The gecko around her navel is green. The primitive sun on her lower back is black. Looking for actual pictures, and we'll post if I find them. So these are the drawings, the renditions, if you will, of her tattoo. If it ever loads, then we can see it. Why is it doing this? We've still got flood nodes. I don't know what to say. Okay, cool. All right. It's taking forever. What's the primary reason I believe she could be alive? Because there's no proof that she's passed, but there's also no circumstantial evidence that she's passed. Oh, hello. Welcome. So I guess it would be that. That would be it. So this is the last thing I want to show you guys. This is Brad's tattoo pics of his sister's tattoos. So if you want to see what those look like, right there, that's the Tasmanian devil. That's what you're looking for on the footage, okay? But yeah, until there's proof or something that could, like, just anything other than we don't know what happened, then I always think they could be, especially after JC Dugard and the kids in Ariel Castro's. But yeah, I cannot encourage more. Go follow Brad. Thank you very much for coming tonight. That is my presentation. Thank you for coming to my TED's Talks. Congratulations, baby Stevie, for modding it up. Congratulations to all of you for being wonderful, beautiful people. Also, if you want to check out James Renner's interview with Yellow, aka Alistair Douglas, aka Christopher Douglas, the bassist you can't hear, and I cannot recommend more watching that sick-ass documentary. Why is it sick? Because it gives you everything you need to know, and you get to hear it directly from the family's perspective. It's very candid, and I like that. All right. I think the best way to end is how we began. I think it is. Today, it's how we began. If you want to follow a really good music channel that is not just lo-fi hip hop, but sometimes you get farts to the beat of music, jams, then go follow MC Lunchbox with 2 X's. And thank you so much for watching. And you have a great night. How do I get this pulled up? Here we go. Share this tab instead. You guys have a great one. I love you to death. Be good. Stay strong. Go look through that footage and try to find Amy. You're the best. I'll join you. Good night.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
That's assault. That's assault. Rape that. Pop that. That's assault. That's assault. Rape that. Rape that. Pop that chair. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. It is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Rape that. Rape that. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. Out of that jail, I will. Excuse me. Excuse me. Rape that. That's assault. Excuse me. You cannot touch me like that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. Rape that. That's rape that. Rape that. Oh, I will be telling you. Rape that. Rape that. That's assault. Stop that. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Rape that. That's assault. Stop that chair here. We have video for just. These people are going to eject you from this line. Out of that show, I will assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Rape that. Stop